All righty, good morning. Welcome to the Trade Finding and Adjustments for Thursday, the 9th of May. And I think I've hit on something that most of you can relate to. And most of you will be thinking, oh my gosh, I totally understand where Kevin's coming from. We're going to start off today with the art of indecision. It sucks. I'll be the first one to tell you. In fact, if I go ahead and I just put it this way, if you are indecisive, then that should be your first red flag to not place a trade. Plain and simple. If you're struggling on making a decision, then it's your first red flag that might not be the best time to place a trade. You've got the answer. The answer's right there in front of you. If it's not something you can stand by, you don't have a firm grasp or understanding of what you should be doing. And I'm saying that to myself because down here, we've got meta. And I've told you a bunch of times, we can take a profit of 11,500 on the short side of a January 600 short call. What we sold for $50 is only worth $21.25. I am really, really struggling with adjusting and selling off that trade. When we first looked at it, its current value was down at 57, and this was more at 14. I'm like, I could have made $3,000 more dollars. But here's what I'm struggling with. And here's why I haven't placed the trade yet. Number one, or first off, Meta earnings were really, really bad. That's the first reason I'm struggling. The second, my belief is that it will take more than the next earnings to get it right, which means my belief that 600 will come into play. That extra $8,500 right now is going to come into play sometime into the future. And here's the third part. Here's the third point that most people don't think about. Third point. If I do nothing, don't I get the full credit either way? There's the main question right there. If I do nothing, won't that full credit either expire worthless, or won't that full credit be given to me as it exercises a 520, 600 and goes above the 600 level? I get to keep that credit either way. So the biggest reason, if I do nothing, I still get to keep 100% of that credit. Whereas right now, if I take it off, I actually lose that $8,570. I'm struggling. I've told you I was going to take it off, and I just haven't done it. As I listen to the earnings guidance and the call, Zuckerberg does such a bad job of listing every area that they're losing money in and giving zero understanding of, hey, we're not going to do this anymore. He actually listed out where he's going to keep losing money the next year. He did not give an explanation for, hey, we're losing money in this area, but it's going to make money by doing this. No, he just said, you got to stick with me because we've made money in other areas in the past. That's not a plan. That's not a guideline. That's, hey, my past history says someone other than me figured out a way to make money. What I want to do is keep losing money in the metaverse and in this area and in that area. So I'm really, really, really struggling with the fact that if I do nothing at all, I get to keep that whole credit. That 85.70 is ours no matter what. If I had more faith that it would come back, I think we're going to need that 85.70 as a credit for us into the future. I can't come up with a compelling reason to make the adjustment. I am indecisive. And if you're indecisive, that's your first red flag that you probably should do nothing at all. So here I am explaining this to you or talking to you about this because I think we all at certain times have come into an undecisive trade. We can't make a decision because maybe we don't have enough information to make our best educated decision. If I do nothing, whether it goes up, down, or sideways, I still get the entire credit. Could I have taken it off and then put it back on for more money? Yes. But that's not a certainty. The certainty is if I do nothing at all, I will get to keep all of this and all of this, no matter what. If it never gets there, it expires worthless. If it gets called away, I still get to keep my whole credit. And because their earnings event was not good, it did not inspire confidence. I still feel like that $8,500 will be more important to us sometime into the future than it would be right now taking it off. Could I have done things a little bit different? Could I have taken it off and added it back on for 3,000? Yes. There's all kinds of woulda, coulda, shouldas. But the cold hard facts or the fact of the matter is if I do nothing, I get to keep the whole credit no matter what. And that comes back down to rights and responsibilities of the short call option. So, out of curiosity, what are your thoughts? I see Lee, you're in here. Mark, you're in here. What are your thoughts on what I've told you? And Mark, I'll go back, but I want you to answer. I'll just answer it now. So, Kevin, I never thought of taking 100% credit. And that probably comes back down to when you're doing a trade, you think about, I want to get a 20% return and then get out. Well, we've got more than a 20% return. We have like a 60% return. but that would be getting out of the whole trade. This is a portion of the trade. So the thought process of, oh, I want to get out of the 20% return, your whole trade is down. You can get out of a 60% return, but your whole trade right now would still be down like $1,000. So that mentality, get out of 20% return, replace a trade, don't go for the fences, don't go for home runs, get a bunch of singles. You can't do that on only a portion of the trade. You have to look at the whole trade altogether. So if you haven't thought about that, it's because you're looking just at a piece of the trade. If you keep taking profits, 20% profits off of pieces of the trade, your net trade will probably be down overall, because there's some big part, like our long position. Our long position is down $39. We've made $29 on the short side. So it doesn't make sense, in my opinion, to look at it as, oh, I need a 20% return, because you're not looking at the whole trade. Does that make sense to you, Mark? All right, perfect. So what am I going to do? Right now, I'm waiting another day. I can afford to wait another day. I've got till January of 2025. So in all honesty, I am in no rush and have no problem with being able to wait another day. That's the beauty of having time on my side. On a debit trade, time is your ally. On a credit trade, time is your enemy. You want time to get by really quickly. You don't want time to take a long period of time, because it gives you more time to have your trade change against you on a credit spread. Well, Kevin, this is a credit spread. I'm talking about the 600 is a credit. The whole spread is a debit. You spend $82 and you get a $50 credit. That's a $30 debit. We're spending $30 to try to make 80. We have time on our side. So as difficult as it may be for some of you to understand, it's in our best interest right now to sit on our hands, and to wait for an opportunity to see if we can't. Well, it just makes sense to wait. The short answer is, at 100% just makes sense to wait right now. Any other questions? All right, so point of the matter, if you're facing indecision, if you are indecisive on what you should do, that is your first red flag that you probably should not do anything at all. As I looked at this position again, fact of the matter is, I get the whole credit no matter what. There is no, hey, I got to do something, because even if I did nothing, no matter where the stock goes, I still get the whole credit. So that's where I'm going to sit back and hold on to things right now. All right, guys, appreciate having you here today. I hope this was helpful. Some of you are in this position, so I hope that helps you feel to have a better understanding of why you don't always have to do something every single time. And again, I do hope that this made sense to you. Are there any questions that maybe I have not answered yet for you? Are there any questions about this that you're like, give me a little more information, give me a little understanding? Anything that you might want me to try one more time to explain a little bit better? All right, I see nothing coming in. You guys have a great day. There are 22 of you here this morning, so I hope this was helpful, helping you understand how to get into my head and how I'm looking at the trade. And with that said, you guys take care. I'll see you next Monday evening for the Hurley Investments Commentary. Guys, take care. Have a good week, and I'll talk to you then. Bye-bye.